It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's a Family Guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. He's a Family Guy. Hello, it's me, the ukulele teacher, here to teach you how to play the theme tune from the hit cartoon series that is called Family Guy. So, grab your uke, make sure it's in tune, and when it is in tune it should sound like this. And let's go ahead and learn the theme tune from Family Guy. If you'd like a song sheet so you can follow along and to help you with the learning, then sign up today to patreon.com/uketeacher, where you get a free PDF song sheet with every single lesson that I post. It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's a Family Guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. He's a Family Guy. Before we go any further though, I just want to say a massive thank you to my good friends at Ortega Guitars for providing this beautiful ukulele for me to play on and for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to find out more about this particular ukulele, then check out the link in the video description below. Hey, if you like this cool t-shirt that I'm wearing, then also check out ukuleletees.com, where I have a huge selection of exclusive and exciting ukulele themed t-shirts available on sale now. They make the perfect gift for yourself or for the ukulele lover in your life. So let's start off by learning the chords that we need for this song. To play the chord of A7, just put your first finger on the first fret of the third string. And the chord of A7 should sound like this. To play the chord of D, I bar the second fret with my first finger. That means I push down on all four strings at the same time. And then I add my fourth finger to the fifth fret of the first string. And the chord of D should sound like this. And then to play the chord of E, I just slide that whole shape up 1, 2 frets, like this. Sometimes in the song, I prefer to play the chord of D by just putting my first, second and third fingers on the fourth, third and second strings at the second fret, like this. Now whichever one you decide to play, they're both interchangeable, so it's absolutely up to you whenever you see the D chord. You can either play it like this, or like this. But for the first line at least, the chord goes from D to E, so it makes a lot more sense if you can do the bar chord to just play it like this. It seems today that all you see. To play the chord of G, put your first finger on the second fret of the third string, your second finger on the second fret of the first string, and your third finger on the third fret of the second string. And the chord of G should sound like this. Now to play the chord of G diminished, you keep that G shape, but you slide just your first and second fingers down 1 fret. But keep your third finger on the third fret of the second string, so it should look like this. Now it will take a bit of getting used to if you don't play diminished chords very often, and it will take, like I say, a little bit of practice, but it's not a difficult chord to play, so just slide those fingers back down, and it should sound like this. To play the chord of B minor 7, just bar that second fret. That's right, you just put your first finger across all 4 strings on the second fret, and the chord of B minor 7 should sound like this. To play the chord of E minor 7, put your first finger on the second fret of the third string, and your second finger on the second fret of the first string, and the chord of E minor 7 should sound like this. Now to play the chord of D7, there are 2 ways to do that. If you're playing the D with your first, second and third fingers across the fourth, third and second strings like this, then just add your fourth finger to the third fret of the first string. Or if you're playing your D chord like this with the bar chord, then just lift up your fourth finger and leave your second finger on the third fret of the first string. Either way, the chord of D7 will sound like this. To play the chord of E7, put your first finger on the first fret of the fourth string, your second finger on the second fret of the third string, and your third finger on the second fret of the first string. And the chord of E7 should sound like this. To play the chord of G sharp diminished, keep that G shape, and you can either stretch up your third finger to the fourth fret of the second string, or just put your fourth finger down on that fourth fret. And either way, the chord of G sharp diminished should sound like this. To play the chord of E minor, put your first finger on the second fret of the first string, your second finger on the third fret of the second string, and your third finger on the fourth fret of the third string. And the chord of E minor should sound like this. To play the chord of F sharp, bar that first fret with your first finger. That means you push down on all four strings at the same time. And then add your second finger to the second fret of the second string, and your third finger to the third fret of the fourth string. And the chord of F sharp should sound like this. And to play the chord of B minor, slide that shape up one fret and just lift off your second finger. And the chord of B minor should sound like this. To play the chord of A, go back to that A7 shape, but add your second finger to the second fret of the fourth string. And the chord of A should sound like this. To play the chord of B flat, bar the first fret with your first finger, then add your second finger to the second fret of the third string, and your third finger to the third fret of the fourth string. And the chord of B flat should sound like this. So firstly, for the introduction, as it is, we just play one downstroke on the chord of A7. Now the first line, the chords are just D to E. Now as I said earlier, you can play the chord of D in one of two ways, either with the bar chord or just with your fingers in the open position like this. But for the first line, the chords being D to E, it makes sense to play it with that bar chord because then you just have to slide the D shape up 2 frets like that. It seems today that all you see. And again, you can just play one downstroke on both of those chords. It seems today that all you see. Then the second line, the chords are E minor 7 to D7. And here I just start to play some nice jaunty downstrokes. 4 downstrokes on the E minor 7 and 2 on the D and D7, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2. So we've got, it seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. Then the third line, the chords are G to G diminished to D to B minor 7. And here we carry on playing those downstrokes, this time just 2 on each chords, like this. G to G diminished D, B minor 7. But where are those good old-fashioned values? And then the final line of the verse, we play one downstroke on E7, on which we used to re, and one downstroke on the A7, lie. So let's just play through that verse nice and slow from the top. It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? And that takes us into the chorus, and here we start to strum a nice and steady down, down, up pattern once on each chord, in a sort of jazzy, swingy feel. So the chords for the first line are G to G sharp diminished to D to B minor 7. And here we play down, down, up once on each chord like this. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Then the second line, the chords are G to E minor to F sharp to B minor. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. Then the third line, the chords are E minor to F sharp to B minor 7 to E7. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up. So let's just play through those first 3 lines of the chorus all together and see how they sound, nice and slow. Lucky there's a family guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. And then the final line is probably the trickiest in the song. The chords are A to B flat to G to A7 to D to G to D. Let me just play you through the line at full speed and then I'll break it down for you chord by chord. He's a family guy. So basically for the first 4 chords, A, B flat, G, A7, I'm still playing that down, down, up pattern once on each of those chords. I'm just playing the down note fully, like this, and then I block the 4 strings for the down, up to make a scrapey or muted sound like this. So it's down, scrape, scrape on each chord like this. Down, scrape, scrape, down, scrape, scrape, down, scrape, scrape, down, scrape, scrape. And then on the D to G to D, I'm playing down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So let me just play you through that final line, nice and slow. He's a family guy. And let's put that all together and play through the entire song from the top, nice and slow. So hopefully you guys will be able to keep up with me. It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's a family guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. He's a family guy. And when you played it through slowly a couple of times, you should be able to play it through eventually at full speed, which will sound something like this. It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV. But where are those good old-fashioned values on which we used to rely? Lucky there's a family guy. Lucky there's a man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry. He's a family guy. And that's how to play the theme tune from the hit cartoon series Family Guy. I've been the ukulele teacher. I'll be back again soon with some more great lessons for you. In the meantime, if you have any requests for songs that you'd like to learn, then let me know right now in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications so you never miss a lesson. And until next time, I love you all and I wish you the best.